I'm Julie, 35. Standing in my living room, I watch as my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, gather their things with trembling hands. The silence is heavy, filled with the weight of unspoken words and long held truths. The winter sun casts long shadows across my driveway as they make their way to their car, a silver Lexus that once represented their authority and my longing for their approval. I remember the moment they arrived unannounced, their perfect postures a stark contrast to the warmth of my home. Mrs. Thompson, in her expensive suit even on a casual Sunday, stepped forward with a brittle smile, saying they were worried. But I wasn't the same Julie they thought they knew. I invited them in for 30 minutes, lying about a client meeting, a small act of control in a situation that had always controlled me. As I made tea, a ritual to calm my nerves, the memories came flooding back. It all started years ago at a fancy restaurant for my parents' 40th anniversary. The valet took my modest Ford Focus with the same smile he gave the luxury cars lined up at the entrance of the upscale eatery. My sister, Lily, had arrived early as always to make a grand entrance. I was the afterthought, the one in the simple dress with scuffed heels. When I entered the private alcove where the party was held, Lily was the center of attention, as radiant as ever in her designer gown. She didn't even glance my way when I sat down at the far end of the table, hidden behind a large potted plant. The envelope in my purse, containing $60,000 I'd saved over 7 years, felt like a heavy burden. I'd hoped it would be a peace offering, a way to finally make my parents see me. But then, Lily stood up and raised her glass, thanking our parents for raising the only child they could ask for. No one corrected her. No one even looked my way. It was as if I didn't exist. That's when I decided to take action. I walked over to Uncle Tom and Aunt May, who had always been there for me. I placed the envelope in front of Aunt May, and the room fell silent. Her kind eyes widened, and Uncle Tom's weathered hand covered mine. It was a small gesture, but it meant the world to me. After that night, my phone was filled with missed calls and angry voicemails from my parents and Lily. But I blocked them all. Aunt May called later, and when she opened the envelope, the shock in her voice was palpable. She and Uncle Tom had always seen my worth, unlike my parents. In the following days, I started to see the positive changes in my life. I received messages from people who had noticed my talent, like a card from my father's old friend who remembered my art show in 3rd grade. A local design school student came to me for mentorship, and I saw myself in her hopeful eyes. I also decided to take control of my life. I updated my portfolio website, filled it with my boldest designs. New clients sought me out because of my authenticity. And then the scholarship announcement came. The Tom and May Thompson Design Scholarship, established in my honor, would support emerging artists and designers. When my parents showed up at my door, they brought photos, trying to prove they had supported me. But I showed them my old calendar, filled with the dates they had missed, like my first design showcase and my emergency appendectomy. The truth finally broke through, and my mother's real tears fell. She pleaded for us to fix things, but I knew it was too late. I asked them to leave, and as I closed the door on the sound of their engine starting, I felt a sense of liberation. My cold tea tasted of truth, not bitterness. The frames on my walls now hold memories of the people who truly see me, like Uncle Tom and Aunt May at my first art exhibition, and friends who have become family. A month later, I'm at Uncle Tom and Aunt May's home for Christmas. The air is filled with the scent of cinnamon and pine needles, and the slightly crooked Christmas tree is adorned with handmade ornaments. The kitchen is filled with the sound of cookie sheets and the warm aroma of ginger. Uncle Tom tells me that a young couple from church stopped by, wanting to show their daughter, who's graduating from design school, my portfolio. I'm reminded of the doubts I once had, but now, I'm surrounded by people who believe in me. Aunt May tells me they used part of the money to start the scholarship, and I'm honored to have my name on it. I'm no longer hiding. I'm finally visible in my own life. As I sit here, watching the snow fall outside, I know that I've walked away from a family that never truly saw me and walked towards a new one that does. The truth has set me free, and I'm ready to embrace the future with quiet confidence.